Tampa Bay cigar shops. We'll keep you updated on cigar-related news, cigar tips, and trends. We'll also talk to some of the biggest names in the cigar industry. All this and so much more. So sit back, grab your favorite smoke, and enjoy. Right here on Smoke Cigars, Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on WTN Radio Network.
Tom O'Brien is on the Tan Talk Radio Network. Every Monday through Friday from 4 till 5 p.m., Tom takes to the airwaves as he breaks down the day's market action. Tom combines his technical knowledge of the markets with his years of trading experience to take your calls and questions every market day from 4 to 5 p.m. Whether you're new to trading or an active day trader, don't miss out on the Tom O'Brien Show live on the Tan Talk Radio Network from 4 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's Monday! Do you need some Monday motivation? The Shop Local for Good News team is here. I'm Karena Morrison, and we're bringing you the good news stories of our neighbors doing good in our neighborhoods.
You can find us on Facebook Live on the Shop Local for Good page, and we're looking forward to your calls.
Let's get this Shop Local for Good News conversation started, shall we? Good morning, Tampa Bay. This is Karena Morrison with the Shop Local for Good News show. This show is dedicated to our serial volunteers out in Tampa Bay who choose to offer their spare time and dimes to worthy local nonprofits in the community. We got a packed show today. We've got lots of events coming up through the Market Space for Good. That's in downtown Clearwater at 628 Cleveland Street on the 600 block that rocks. We've got lots of updates about small businesses that we've met with over the past couple of weeks. And we also met with some city leadership, and we're looking forward to some exciting events in the community in 2019. Now, the first part of our show is going to be focusing on the Benevolution Foundation. If you want to find the Benevolution Foundation on Facebook, that's at the Benevolution. And basically that is our 501c3 nonprofit incubator. What I've done is I launched the Benevolution Foundation after a couple decades of assisting, helping to launch, serving on boards of local nonprofits from the local to the national level, and just basically taking all of the things that I've learned from the street and from a lot of book work. When you're running a nonprofit, it's very important to follow the rules. So you want to know how to effectively reach your community, but you also want to know how to follow the rules so that you can keep your 501c3 status. So basically, we offer worthy local nonprofit missions. I like to stick with the all volunteer managed ones because they tend to need the most assistance. And we offer them coaching. We offer them grant opportunities that's basically from the blessings of our neighbors who choose to support the Benevolution Foundation. We also offer them a way to have another voice in the community for their mission. We currently have 2 active nonprofit missions that we're working with. The first one is Bailey's Way Rescue. They are a all-volunteer foster program for puppy dogs in the greater Tampa Bay area. Their team is just phenomenal. We worked with them last year for the annual Macaroni and Cheese Fall Festival. Lots of enthusiasm. We just love how they engage volunteers to help rescue the dogs that need it the most. So we want to give a shout out to Bailey's Way Rescue. And we're going to be working with them all year because they actually won Tampa Bay's favorite local nonprofit. So for the People's Choice for the annual Macaroni and Cheese Fall Festival. So shout out to Bailey's Way Rescue and their team. And we're looking forward to getting together with them and having them on an upcoming show. Our other nonprofit that we are currently accepted into our grant program is Kids Campaign. Shout out to Christine and Melanie and the Kids Campaign crew. They are just a phenomenal team of volunteers who are enthusiastic about, and I love their mission. Their mission is so cool. It's a dual purpose mission. They encourage their neighbors to volunteer in the community. And much like, and I'm going to date myself on this one, but much like when we were kids and you remember you had to go to all your neighbors and your friends and family, and they had to sponsor a mile, and that you had to walk around either the track or whatever at school because you were raising money for school. Well, Kids Campaign has taken that one step further. And basically, their mission is to encourage volunteerism at all ages. So even a young person that sees maybe a neighbor that needs their lawn mowed every other week, they can connect with Kids Campaign and tell them they want to do a serving campaign for their neighbor. And what they do is they get a sponsor. They'll go to their friends and family and say, hey, I want to help Mr. or Mrs. Jones up the street take care of their lawn. Will you sponsor me by donating to Kids Campaign? And where those funds go, their sponsor donations go to Kids Campaign's second purpose, which is to bless the families in Greater Tampa Bay and a few beyond who are dealing with the challenges of pediatric cancer. There are certain expenses that some of these families have to cover, and on occasion, there aren't funds available for them. So Kids Campaign does their best to fund specific needs for these families. And they also organize ways to give back to these families that may not necessarily be handled by other bigger organizations. So Kids Campaign is on Facebook, and so is Bailey's Way Rescue. And if you are on the Shop Local for Good Facebook page, we are live right now. If you are involved with the local nonprofit in the Greater Tampa Bay area, and you think that they may be interested in being part of the Benevolution Foundation grant program, please feel free to definitely comment on our Facebook Live. If you are on your way, if you're in their car driving to work, don't do Facebook Live because that's just not safe. Just remember Shop Local for Good. That's Shop Local for Good. You can send our Facebook page a message with the link to the nonprofit that you're interested in connecting our team with, and the Benevolution Foundation will reach out to them. So part of what Shop Local for Good does as well is we connect the charitable small business families in our community with worthy local nonprofit missions. So it's much broader and a much wider mission than most people recognize. Shop Local for Good was launched in 2017 after, once again, a couple of decades of on-the-ground work with local families that are trying to launch businesses, and actually working with them on the challenges that it takes to launch a small business in a local community. If you have ever tried to launch a business, you'll recognize immediately what I'm going to say. And we want to give a shout out to all of the hardworking small business families in Tampa Bay too, because there are some statistics that I'm not sure many people are aware of. For example, local small businesses actually employ a massive amount of more people than major corporations do. And they're more likely to give back directly to their local communities than the corporations do. I know it looks like that the corporations give a lot of money with those big checks. However, there's only so much bandwidth, and small business owners are more likely engaged directly with their community, and they're more aware of the specific needs of what's happening directly in their neighborhood. So that's why it's really important to get to know the small business owners in your community. Not to mention the customer service is usually way more phenomenal. I have a story to tell you about a local pet store that's Pets Unlimited. Give a shout out to Steve and his crew. My family has lived in Clearwater. I'm actually a second generation native of Pinellas County. My mother and I were both born in St. Pete, obviously not on the same day, but I want to let you know that it's important and my passion is real about supporting businesses in Tampa Bay because this is my home. But I've lived in Clearwater for going on 17 years. My youngest is turning 16 at the end of the month, and I was actually pregnant when we moved into the house in Clearwater. So I want to let you know that I've got 17 years in Clearwater, and we've been going to Pets Unlimited for pretty much 17 years. He's been in business for over 20, probably closer to 30 years on Drew Street. Yeah. And Pets Unlimited is 1888 Drew Street. They have phenomenal customer service. So let me tell you this story. I was in community activism about 10 years back. And anyone that's been a community activist understands that your schedule is pretty much crazy, especially on Saturdays. And it never fails. My dog always ran out of food on a Saturday. And Pets Unlimited, by the way, is not open on Sundays. So being without food and being passionate about supporting small business, either my dog was going to eat, chicken from mom's food, or I was going to try to make it to Pets Unlimited before my events were over on Saturdays. Well, I was running a little late, and I pulled up to the store, and they were just about ready to close, and they had already closed down their register and everything. So I walked up and I was like, "Oh, are you closed?" And they came out, and they were, because I had been a loyal customer for so many years, they asked me what food I needed for the time, that they were going to be closed. And they went ahead and I don't know if I should say this, but they gave me some dog food and told me I could come in on Monday and pay. Now, I'm not going to say they do that for everyone. Remember, getting to know the owners of these local businesses has its benefits. So, plus they knew I wasn't going anywhere because I own a house in Clearwater and they know where I live. But anyway, that's just a above and beyond service that you could potentially get by getting to know the owners of the small businesses in your community. Not to mention, it's really important to understand that every dollar that you spend in your local neighborhood, I think it's $68 out of 100 actually stay within your local community. And when you are doing business with small business owners who are your neighbors, you're actually, helping to support their family and their dreams. And being a small business owner is a lot of work. And I know I'm one, and we appreciate when people come in to shop, don't we, Lorena? Mm-hmm. Lorena is my daughter. She actually manages the Market Space for Good throughout the week. So I'm also grooming her to be the next serial volunteer. She will be, my granny turns 99 at the end of the month. Squirrel. Anybody who's watched Up or Doug. Anybody that knows Doug knows the squirrel. My grandmother, Lorena Sr., will be 99 at the end of the month, and she is actually the original serial volunteer. And then it was my mom and me, and now my daughter Lorena she's a pretty phenomenal kid. Okay, she's not a kid. She's 21. But she is actually running the camera for our Facebook Live. And she also really, really loves it when our neighbors come into the market space for good and they shop local with her. Don't you?
Yep.
We had some people come in yesterday and they walked into the store and they turned and they looked and they said, fruit butters. So shout out to Aunt Nisi with her fantastically delicious fruit butters. Our family has actually once we got to tasting is believing, by the way. Aunt Nisi will know what I'm saying. Shout out to Denise. She's also one of our Business for Good. She's in our Business for Good program because she sponsored the kids campaign door prize basket, and she's always giving back. So we love Aunt Nisi, and her fruit butters are phenomenal.
Yep.
There is no jelly in my house. It's all fruit butters. So we had some exciting customers visit yesterday, neighbors, and that's the first thing they saw were the fruit butters. And then Lorena was explaining to them what the Market Space for Good is it's an entrepreneur incubator. So basically Aunt Nisi's and businesses like DJ's Homemade Salsa, another fantastic local specialty food. Once you try DJ's Homemade Salsa, you'll never go back to the corporate one ever. If you do, you're just desperate for or whatever. Hey guys, we're open 6 days a week. You can come by and get DJ's Homemade Salsa anytime you want, except for Mondays. Mondays are our day off. So, and Donnie with DJ's Homemade Salsa, he actually sponsored Bailey's Way Rescues gift basket along with Pets Unlimited, and Edgewater in Maine. Our friends with Edgewater in Maine, they helped us sponsor all of the gift baskets for the annual Macaroni and Cheese Fall Festival. So that was good. They are one of our businesses for good in the area. Shout out to Clyde and Michael, our friends. I've known them for many years. Not only are they sponsors, are also dear friends and coaches of myself, because they've actually done a lot in the community to help other small businesses. And that's another thing that I would love to motivate our neighbors with, what small businesses do for each other. Because in our community, small business families recognize the challenges that we're dealing with, the regulations that we may or may not be able to cover, with expenses, because on occasion, well, most often we don't have lobbyists that can get the rules made for us. However, some of us are active in our community, and we do appreciate the elected officials that come out to support our business. I want to thank City Councilman Bob Cundiff for coming through the Market Space for Good and taking a tour of the space. It was a nice visit, and we appreciate that he came out to get to know a little bit more about what our small business is doing. We do have a couple of events coming up that I'm really excited about. We had met with a group of small businesses in Clearwater on the 600 block. Now, what you'll understand, the 600 block of Cleveland Street. That block actually houses the Station Square City Park. It's a beautiful city park. In my opinion, it's completely underutilized. So what I've got plans for is, and what we've been growing, this is what we're growing in the community, is back in November, we launched a community market. The city of Clearwater doesn't currently have a farmer's market every Saturday or anywhere where we can showcase small businesses that may not be brick and mortar, but want to connect with their neighbors in the community. So Shop Local for Good took on the mission of starting another community market. There has been community markets in Clearwater, and for whatever reason or not, they are not continuing. But we're determined to grow it. Our community market is currently housed on the Station Square Creative Suites patio outdoors. It's a beautiful patio that's got a view of the park. And so what we do is we reach out into the artists and the artisans and the entrepreneurs and the authors, and we encourage them to set up a table on the patio. We have 2 opportunities this Saturday, or you can come out and hang out the whole day, because we also showcase our indoor market space vendors along with the outdoor. So it's an indoor-outdoor market. We have free parking in a covered parking garage. Who needs to battle the mall parking lots? Wow. And then in Florida, if you're not parked in a shaded spot, you come back and you melt halfway home because your car's so hot.
Microwave in there.
Yeah, it's a microwave in there, Lorena says. So, it's a covered parking garage, and it's free on the weekends. So you can come out and park in the Station Square Creative Suites parking lot, our parking garage, and you can access that from Laura Street, which is behind the Station Square condominiums. So, or you can park right on Cleveland Street if you'd like. And then come out to our outdoor market. We had a local organic vegan food vendor this week, and foodie family. It's the Better Me Foods family. They were out there this past Saturday. Phenomenal food. Now, they hit the trifecta with me. First of all, it was organic and vegan, and so that was a good one, because we have had neighbors and guests of our market that have been crying out for that kind of food. Second of all, it was gorgeous. I love pretty food, y'all. It was pretty. Their salads are beautiful. Their soups are fantastic. But most importantly, it was very, very tasty. So we want to thank their family for being there this past Saturday. And we have an exciting announcement, because they're going to be there all day long on January 12th. So you could come out at 10 a.m. in the morning. You can have a brunch. You can shop with our people, and then, hang out for the afternoon if you'd like. And then, or, you can wander around, because there's some really great businesses on Cleveland Street in downtown Clearwater. And then you're going to want to come back about 4:00, because Dark Horse Florida Publishing, that is a local publishing company, is gathering some local authors and poets. And we're going to have live short story readings and live poetry readings from 4 to 9 on January 12th. That's our Works and Words of Art. And we're also reaching out into the local artist community to, what I want to do is touch base with emerging local artists and have them join our Words and Works of Art showcase. And we also have inside our Artists for Good program, our Artists for Good showcase, with gorgeous paintings by Thomasia Martins. And he is actually donating 50% of each sale to the Benevolution Foundation. So that's what makes him an artist for good. Not to mention, he's just a fantastic guy. He has a very good passion. He has a very strong passion for human rights in our community and abroad, and is just an amazing individual. So not only is he a talented artist, he's got a heart for good, and we love to showcase individuals like that in our community. And then we have Rashida Sharif, and her sweet trees. If you want to visit the market space on Saturday and come out and experience her sweet trees, Rashida's just an amazing woman. She actually works in the school system and helps children on their breathing techniques and how to control, maybe their emotions that are getting out of control and causing them the inability to focus on what's important in our community. And she's just got a heart to serve our community as well. I've known Rashida for almost 2 years, and she's just an amazing woman. So her sweet trees are in the market space for good, and she's also donating a percentage of each sale to the Benevolution Foundation towards our grant program. And then we have the Copper Artist. Full disclosure, that is my husband. So he has to be an artist for good because he's a good guy too. 30 plus years of marriage. I think I'll keep him. And he basically started as a teenager in the roofing industry in the sheet metal division. And so he has many, many years of sheet metal design. And he's also an artist from a young child. And so he just combined both of those talents into designing artwork out of copper. So that's where the Copper Artist comes from. And purchasing from him will obviously support the Benevolution Foundation's mission. So shout out to my husband, John, for being an all-around great guy for over 30 years. And a pretty good dad, too. What do you think, Lorena?
Yeah.
Yeah? You got to keep him as a dad?
Uh-huh.
Awesome. He also built all the shelves that are in the market space for good. So he's pretty handy to have around. So those are just 3 of our artists for good for now. We are reaching out into the art community because the market space for good has lots of wall space and lots of room to connect our artists with the heart to serve their community and to showcase your beautiful work to the neighbors that visit the Market Space for Good. Once again, the Market Space for Good is at 628 Cleveland Street in the Station Square Creative Suites. We're in Suite 11, and we'd love to have you come visit. We're open from Tuesday through Sunday. Tuesday through Thursday, we're open from 11 to 6. On Fridays, we're open from 11 to 9 p.m. So if you want to stop in and get a special gift before you go to dinner with your sweetheart, that's a good plan, by the way. And I have a great idea for you. Aramel Apothecary. We want to give a shout out to Yocasta because she's also a part of our Business for Good program. She's constantly donating her handcrafted personal care products. They're essentially oil-based. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. But she's got soaps and the amazing shower steamers. And she's put together these really, really cute gift sets. So I'm going to give a motivational tip to all you persons out there that are looking for a special gift for, if you want to impress your date. Stop by the Market Space for Good on Friday before you go to dinner and grab up one of Aramel Apothecary's gift sets because she's put together they got a sugar scrub in there and a soap. Yeah. And did she have the shower steamer in there too, Lorena? She's if there isn't one, she's got them available there, and we'll just untie the little bag and put one in.
Yeah.
Bonus, you get a bonus, but it's a cute bag, and it's a little burlap bag, and she did a great job on it. So that's your tip for taking your Friday night date to the next level, and we're open till 9. So even if dinner's late, you could drop in and say, hey, because I'm going to be there. Because Lorraine and I, we do split shifts on Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Saturday, We are going to be open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. This Saturday because it's a special Saturday. And then Sundays we're open from 11 to 6 p.m. If you're confused, I really hope you're not trying to take notes and drive down the street because that would just be, not safe. You could go to the Market Space for Good's Facebook page and you can check our About tab, and that has all our hours on it. So, wow, we've got a lot of people that joined. I'm liking this. Shout out to everybody that's following us on our Facebook Live and everybody that's tuned in to get motivated this morning. All right, I want to get down now for the motivational part. I want all of our neighbors in Tampa Bay to understand a little bit more about how you can help your small business community. Now, first, obviously, setting aside a little bit of your family finances to explore your community and get to know maybe a new business owner. One new business owner a month. That's not too bad. Hey, I'd love for you to do it weekly. That'd be great. But let's start with baby steps. One small business owner, new small business owner a month, and go into their space, get to know what their passions are, what they're selling in the community, and then if you find that they have products that you would like to recommend to your friends, then here's what I want you to do. I want you to, hopefully they have a Facebook page. If they don't, please send them the Shop Local for Good so I can help them. I want you to set aside 5 minutes a week, just 5 minutes a week, and want you to go to their Facebook page. And first of all, I want you to like it and make sure that you're following it. And then at least once a month, I want you to share one of their posts from their page. Now, what does that do? Everyone that follows you, all your friends, and potentially their friends too, will not only see, Facebook has funny algorithms that they change all the time. So, this is why some of us have to stay on top of it and offer you the latest Facebook news. So instead of just liking a post with thumbs up, if you love it, if you laugh about it, or if you do the hearts or whatever, that actually boosts that post up in the algorithms to Facebook, the mysterious Facebook algorithms. Your friends will potentially see that you've liked it. There's a higher opportunity for them to see that you've liked a post in their news feed without you directly sharing it with them. And what makes it even higher opportunity is if you comment on the post. So instead of a thumbs up, you want to, if it's a funny post, do a laugh on it. If you love the product that they're promoting, do the heart face. I don't have the real names of these emojis, so yeah, just do the emoji instead of the thumbs up. My daughter is laughing at me in the corner, probably because I'm a dinosaur and I'm trying to give social media advice. All this advice is based on test and learn. If anybody understands what test and learn is, or if you don't understand what test and learn is, I've invested many thousands of dollars in Facebook boosting and Facebook promotions and social media promotions on other platforms. And because I'm the biggest geek ever, I track the effectiveness of it. I'm the biggest geek ever, and don't necessarily. I want to see it work for myself instead of somebody else telling me how things work. So if you're that way too, you can test and learn on your own. Just try my version first, and you might save a few $1,000s. So that's what that's your small business. That's your small business homework for the week. Homework doesn't sound fun. Small business motivation for the week. Now let's let's just give a few facts about small businesses in our community. I've already stated that multiple studies show that small businesses reinvest in the local economy at a higher rate than chains do. For every $100 that's spent at one of our local family owned businesses, for example, $68 stays in the community. Now, that's according to the Business Alliance for Local Living Economies. It's a nonprofit that advocates building strong local economies. Now, why do we want a strong local economy? Strong local economies oftentimes turn into better services for our neighbors. If an economy is strong at a local level, that often plays over into the nonprofits that are serving our neighbors in need, being able to encourage these small business families into helping to support their missions at a slightly higher level. And that's another point that must be made. Shopping at small businesses actually provides more resources for those small business families to reinvest into our community, into the nonprofit sector, which, oftentimes our government programs are too burdensome for some of our neighbors in need to navigate. And or we do have local nonprofits that have those resources available and help our neighbors in need to navigate through the myriad of there are regulations for helping our neighbors too. So just basically by spending local, by shopping local, your dollar is that much more empowered to not only support the family who has launched that business, it's also potentially going to help support the local nonprofits that are helping your neighbors in need. Now, how do you find those small businesses that are reinvesting in worthy local nonprofits? Well, that's why Shop Local for Good was launched. I knew of so many small business families in Tampa Bay who were quietly giving, and I'm all about giving credit where credit's due. And I wanted more of my neighbors to understand and to know and get to know these friends of mine. They've become friends over the years too. How much they were, quietly giving back to the community. So pretty much anybody that I'm giving shout outs to on the show hasn't paid me to do so, mind you. This show is supported by the Morrison family, the Market Space for Good membership. A portion of their membership dues go to help support the Shop Local for Good News show, and our generous Business for Good sponsors and our Artists for Good sponsors. So we want to, make sure that we recognize our donors. We want to thank the Residential Design Corp. Thank you to Steve Orlando for donating to help sponsor a show last year. I'm going to hit you up again for this year. Actually, it was just a couple of weeks ago. We appreciate his support of keeping us on the air, because it does cost money to be on the radio, y'all. We want to give a shout out to It Works, Gabby Go Green, Gabby Lyons and her family. Not only are they sponsors, they are actually members of the Market Space for Good, and they are rock star market managers. So they actually stepped up to help manage the outdoor market. So when you come through, you're going to want to try the keto coffee. She has the keto coffee bar every Saturday, and it's phenomenal. It's actually what I'm going to take a sip of right now. It helps keep the voice going for an hour and more. And I want to make sure that I also give a very, very warm and sincere thanks to Angie's Grill. Angie's Grill is at 1732 Drew Street. They're across from the 7-Eleven on Drew Street. And phenomenal breakfast. They serve breakfast all day. And it's just an amazing family. I can't say enough good about them. They stepped up big time in 2018 to assist with a few events and campaigns that Shop Local for Good and the Benevolution Foundation put together. So I want to give a sincere thanks to Juan and Angela, the family who owns Angie's Grill on Drew Street, and give you encouragement to go by and say hi to Shelly. She is the server extraordinaire. If you have breakfast and Shelly's serving you and you walk out in a bad mood, you really shouldn't have gotten out of bed, because Shelly's she's super sweet. She's an amazing server, and she's just got a great attitude about life. So we love Shelly, don't we? Mm-hmm. All right. And then we have Scone Age Bakery and Cafe. That's another Shelly that we love. She's a chef, Chef Shelly, and Larry Jaffe. They just opened a few weeks ago, or about a month ago. And if you are on the keto, or if you have their keto products, their keto bakery, they're selling out every day. So you're going to need to get there like early, because not only is it keto friendly, it's just delicious. Yeah. And then they have a limited lunch menu too. They have a macaroni and cheese to die for. It's made with their scratch-made pimento cheese, right? Yep. And Chef Shelly also is very aware of local products and also getting high quality organic foods, and all her food tastes good too. So if you're out and about in Dunedin, you want to give a visit to the Scone Age Bakery and Cafe. They're open until 2 o'clock every day. 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock? Oh, yeah. 2 o'clock. Just get there early. They open at 8 a.m., correct? Yes, they do. So if you're on a specialized diet or you're on keto and you want to visit our friends at Scone Age Bakery and Cafe, I just put my daughter totally on the spot. And so she's giving me the, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that to me live on the radio look. So anyhow, I want to thank all the business owners in downtown Clearwater for coming out we had a powwow this past week, getting together with it was the 600 block. There are some great businesses on the 600 block of Cleveland Street, y'all. If you're looking for promotional items or signs for your business, definitely visit our friends at Signworks on Cleveland Street. That's Leif with Signworks. He did a fantastic job on our sandwich board, and just over the top excellent service. We've got the Vector Arcade, which is the coolest retro bar in downtown Clearwater. It's the coolest retro bar ever, if you ask me. They have pinball machines. They have the video games that we grew up with. Galaga. They have Galaga. My goodness. That was my favorite video game on the planet. I think it still is. I'm dating myself again. And their owners are just very passionate about growing downtown Clearwater. It's a great couple. We want to encourage you to visit them. They have phenomenal wines from France. I mean, really good wine. And they've got craft beers. And if you're not into wine or beer, they also have non-alcoholic tea. They have teas, and they just really care about the community and are looking to work hard to help grow downtown Clearwater. So that's Vector Arcade on Cleveland Street. It's right across from the Station Square Creative Suite. So, you can come by and grab a cigar from B&L Fine Cigars from the Market Space for Good and walk across the street and go to the Vector Arcade, because they have a patio out back too. That is pretty neat. It's a local gathering place for people who care about their community and who want to play video games or pinball. It's just a fun little place too. So, and that was Vector Arcade. And who else was there? We've got the vape place that I'm going to have to give a big shout out next week, because the name of the store. And down the street, they're on the 500 block, Lucky's Anchor Bar, Lucky's Anchor. They've got new owners, and they're actually working together with the other. We've got Pour Yours. It's the wine tasting bar that's across the street. It's just fantastic to know that these small businesses that may be considered like competitors, for the precious dollar from our neighbors, they're actually working together on, for example, Vector and Lucky's is working together on entertainment. So if Lucky's has karaoke one night, Vector Bar would have something different. And it's just really inspirational to see small businesses working in collaboration instead of just like competition. I mean, it's a capitalist society. I get it. But these are our neighbors that really care about building the downtown Clearwater area and are, working hard to figure out ways to entertain our neighbors. So, come on down to visit downtown Clearwater. Friday, the January 18th is the art walk. So you'll be able to walk from 600 block and visit Stacy Krupa's art gallery. Yay, Stacy, we love her. Her art is phenomenal. She's got a fine art gallery. If you're into oceanic and nature, and she's just amazing. Her art is gorgeous. And so that's going to be the Friday night art walk. That's January 18th. And we're also going to have a nighttime market too. So Shop Local for Good is doing the 600 block rocks, works and words of art on January 18th. Once again, we're going to bring back the Dark Horse Florida Publishing poets and local authors. Just lots of exciting things to do in downtown Clearwater. We're wanting to encourage our neighbors to go to and support these small businesses that are working hard to bring entertainment and family-friendly fun to the downtown Clearwater network. And an hour goes by really fast. Once Gabby said good morning. Yep. Good morning, Gabby. And thank you to your family for all that you do to help. It takes a lot to put on a market. I'm going to be fully 100% honest with everyone that's listening. It's a lot of work. It's something that I'm passionate about because I really enjoy the work. I really enjoy connecting with the market vendors who appreciate the opportunity to come out and meet the neighbors that are, wanting to support locally managed businesses. Oftentimes the market vendors are just one step ahead of the brick and mortar small businesses. It's going to take them a little bit longer. So, support the local market in downtown Clearwater. It's every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Station Square Creative Suites. It's on the beautiful patio. We have an outdoor market, and we also do the indoor showcase with all of our small businesses that are on the shelves. It's hashtag more than a shelf. We do have shelf space available. If you are an entrepreneur in the community or an artisan or an artist, and you're looking for a dynamic team to work with and to showcase your products 6 days a week in downtown Clearwater, the Shop Local for Good team manages the sales of your products. It is a general fee membership fee for you to be there. You get a 4-foot by 12-inch wide shelf and a very enthusiastic team that wants to help you succeed in the community. And you're part of a greater team of small businesses that have been involved with us since June of 2018. And we're kind of like a family. So prepare yourself. and we're pretty passionate about growing your business. So once again, we have Market Space for Good. It does have shelf space available. It's very reasonable for a retail environment. And we do have specials, a limited number of specials for you. So if you're interested, come visit us. We're open Tuesday through Sunday. The shop local at the Market Space for Good. It's 628 Cleveland Street and Suite 11. Once again, that's 628 Cleveland Street, Suite 11 in the Station Square Creative Suites. That's right next to the Station Square City Park, a beautiful city park. We would love to expand the market into the city park every Saturday, but in order for that to happen, I'm not going to do it until we get enough visitors that are visiting us on the patio. So that's your mission. Grab a few families from the neighborhood, come out, have some fantastic food, shop with our local vendors, hang out for the evening, this Saturday evening, for poetry and short story readings by the local poets and authors with Dark Horse Florida Publishing. Just all kinds of lots of stuff to do. We are running low on the time limit. So I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. Thank everybody that's sharing the Shop Local for Good live Facebook show. Thank everybody who's supporting local small businesses and the local nonprofits that are doing the hard work of helping our neighbors in need. And I want you to tune in every Monday to Shop Local for Good News. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, reach out to Karena at shoplocalforgood.com. That's Karena at shoplocalforgood.com. And we'll get you live on the air on the Tan Talk Radio Network every Monday from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Much thanks to Ed, our producer, for doing a fantastic job today. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next Monday.
WTAN, Clearwater,
FM 106.1,
WDCF, Dade City, Tampa Bay, WZHR, Zephyr Hills,
FM 104.3.
Listen.
It's time for the Monday edition of Canada Calling, the news from home for vacationing Canadians. Prior Smith speaking from Toronto. And today we welcome in our listeners on Star FM in the Bahamas and Public Radio 88 FM in the Texas Rio Grande Valley. Yeah, it's good to have you with us. Well, they say timing is everything. This morning's return to work and school after the holidays here in southern Ontario coincided with a storm system bringing snow and later today, freezing rain. That mess will work its way to the east, and by later today and tomorrow, Montreal and Ottawa will be getting exactly the same thing. Finally, a nice